good afternoon. How are you? Welcome to Thursday with White Gecko Craft Lounge. I'm Sarah Jane. Some of you will know, some of you won't. We are what's the date today? 14th. The 14th. I've got a few friends that have got birthdays today, so happy birthday to all my mates that have got birthdays today, and anybody that I don't know who's got a birthday today, happy birthday to you. What are we going to do today? We're making a piggy bank today. I am going to go through a few things before, stuff that's gone on the website that you might not know about. Hi Iran, how are you? So, just to start with, which one do I do? 2, 3. How long have we been doing this? And I still don't remember what days they are. Right, these were, we've got a few of these left. Sarah's just put these onto the website. They're Christmas Redwork baubles. You get the templates in there, which you then draw with a erasable pen onto the fabric that's in there. This one's the red one, and this one is the blue one. So you get to make your own baubles. You could use them as gift tags, or do them on felt or fabric and stuff them so that they become puffy. So, but they're real cute. You might have seen these on Sewing Street. We also have this. Now I've got one of these, so I want to give it a go. It's like a redwork panel, but I was going to do mine in colours. Now I know Sarah did one. She's got a cushion cover where she's done the fire, but you've got like a Christmas tree. They're all printed onto the fabric, and all you've got to do then is just follow the lines. There's a Christmas tree, a poinsettia, some baubles, and a fireplace picture with your wreath over the fireplace, and then some bubbles, more bubbles. So yeah, I think this is really cute, and such a clever idea to put it onto fabric, and you even get our logo, so you could use that for doing something. The other thing that's gone on the website, which you might already have seen, is the Herbie bag. Now this is printed onto a canvasy type of fabric. It's all different herbs. So you've got basil, lavender, oregano, thyme, sage, mint. I was going to say, what is that? Mint, chives, coriander and rosemary. But it's actually printed onto a panel that folds up into a tote bag, if you wanted to make a tote bag. And there's strapping in there, and then you've got lavender and green thread in there. Now, I didn't ask how much they were, but if you go on daily deals on our website, you'll find them on there. So it's worth a look. It's worth a look and see if you fancy doing them. So that's what we're going to tell you there. That's those. The other thing is, now this is between you and me, did you see Sarah's live yesterday? Last night she did a live. She did a bag. She did one of these, look. She did a bag, which is really cool. And she also announced that we're having a party. We're going to have a party for our birthday. So we are hiring a room in the Village Hotel, which is on the M4 corridor. CF29, I think it was. And we're going to have a DJ, and we're going to have a buffet. And you're all welcome to come. We are asking for £10 a ticket, just purely and simply that it'll go towards the cost of the food, really. But you can buy, we ask you just to buy up to 2 tickets. So if there's more than 2 of you go in, then somebody else is going to have to go and buy the other tickets. But come and play with us. Come and see us. There is a code. It's all on the website. There is a code. If you wanted to stay in the hotel, it gives you 10% off. So have a look on the website. You can buy the tickets through that. But come and play with us. It would be lovely. So hiya Eileen and Carol and Nikki. How are you, Nikki? Who's poorly? You said you were being Florence Nightingale. So who's not well? It's obviously not you. And hiya Maxine. Welcome. Right, we're going to make a piggy bank. I quite like these. These are really cool. Really cute. So this is my finished one. So he's shaped like a piggy. I think my thingy needs to be smaller. I can't get a buttonhole to be big enough, I don't think, for you to put money in. Now I've added a cam snap at the bottom so that you can get money out. You should just about get a £2 coin through there. So this is my piggy. Isn't he lush? I also made one. You know I like to make more than one of these things. I also made one in felt. I'm going to show you how to make it in the fabric, or how I've made it. This one is made in felt, so it was just really simple because there's no making up 2 lots so that you've got colour inside. I suppose if you used batiks, which I did here, you could treat it just like this. Pink the edges, and it won't fray. If you were just giving them as presents, you know, quite often now we give money as presents. So this one hasn't got a hole in it. I would just put the money in there, and then they could, well, you could get in there like that, or you just cut it up and get the money out. So it's a nice little way of earning. So I've started this one. I'm actually making this one in Piggy material. We have this is no, it's not Farmstead. I think this is a Macau one, and we've got sheep and cows, pigs, chickens. They all go together. See, this is why I don't do the telly, because I can never remember the name of the fabrics and who they're by. I know it's a Macau one, this one. Right, so I've already made one side. Because I wanted lining, I thought I would do, I've done him in two bits. So I make 2 complete piggies and then go from there. So with this one, I put bozal on the back because I wanted him stiff so that you could see. So I've done bozal on the back of this, inside this one, but I've put the H640 on the inside so that there's a bit more give, you know, because I don't know how much money you're going to put in there. You want it really fat, don't you? So how are we going to do this? Let's turn the iron on and have a look. Oh, Richard had an operation, so we can't do much, including drive it. So you're having to run round after him. So it's yes, it's a it's bad when somebody else is ill. It's bad when you're ill, but when it's somebody else, you know, you expect them to be better, don't you? Right, what did I do? What did I do here? So, hiya Claire, how are you? Hiya Ali. I found a simple outline of the pig. I didn't want 4 legs because then you've got to go right up in between, and you know me and turning stuff out. It just, but I started off with all different sizes. I decided he was a bit big. I wasn't going to give anybody that amount of money. And then I decided this one was a bit small, so that's that size, okay. And then I decided he was just right. So 3 little pigs. It's bears, isn't it? Goldilocks and the 3 bears. Yeah, I've got Sarah and the 3 pigs here. So I decided to go with this one. I blew the image when I downloaded it off Pinterest was about this big, and I blew it up. That's 30 centimeters. That's 20 centimeters, and that was that's 20. That's 25. I don't know whether you need to know that bit. Then I got some freezer paper. Now, I've really enjoyed doing this because the freezer paper makes it so much easier. So I traced it onto the freezer paper like that. I didn't need to add a sewing allowance or anything like that. I've put it onto the freezer paper. You iron that onto your fabric, and then you just sew around it, right next to it, all the way around it. Perfect. Amazing. Thank you, Gail, for that little bit of insight. I know that we've done that before, but we wanted, she said, why don't you try that? And it worked like a dream. So I'm going to iron these here. You often wonder why they're called piggy banks. Well, it's a pig that you put money in. Yeah, piggy wiggies. Would it, if you had a bear? I mean, I've got, what do I have for the girls? I collect 50p's for my 2 grandchildren, and they're My Little Pony. So, yeah, would they be My Little Pony banks? Pony banks? Or are they still piggy banks? Yes. Right. H640. It's you've got your Boswell, which is a foam. This is more like your polywadding with a rough side, which is glue. Okay, so I'm going to put my wrong side down on top, and I'm going to iron that. Now, written on it, Sean and I found out yesterday, it says it needs 15 seconds in order to melt the glue. So you've got to give it enough time for it to melt. Otherwise, and it said you should use a damp cloth, which I had never read before. So I learnt something new yesterday. So that's now stuck. Okay, and I want to put my fabric now wrong sides together. Okay, now I'm going to turn it over, and I'm just going to cut that bit off. Go over there a minute, iron. So I'm just going to cut off my excess like that. I can use that for something else. So I now have my sandwich. Now I've got my fabrics right side together, and I've got my wadding on the wrong side of one of them. Okay, I'm going to iron my piggy on here, and I haven't picked up one that's big enough, like that, and you just run the iron over gently. Now this is the 4th time I've used this, and I still got stick in there. Can you see how it's stuck? I've still got a bit of stick on there, so that's good. I'm going to pin just to make sure that it doesn't move while I sew. Okay, are we all with me so far? Yeah, it could have done with a little bit wider, but I didn't have any. So that's our piggy, and we're going to take him to the machine. I'm going to start here in his armpit, and I'm going to back stitch there. I'm going all the way round, and I'm going to stop in his groin, and back stitch there, so that I've left this bit open. Okay, right, okay, You do. Yeah. Hi, Marion. Yes, Claire. I mean, I'm a big one for not reading instructions. Right, now Sarah's got a different colour thread in here. Told her it didn't matter. You get goldy brown pigs as well, do you? As well as pink ones. So that's back stitched for me, and I'm just going around. I'm going to try and miss the freeze paper. Oh, oh, oh. I've remembered. I've moved the camera. Have I moved the camera? Are we over there now? So, yeah. So you're just sewing pretty much next to the freezer paper, which is not going to move because you've ironed it to your fabric. Okay, so you just do with an open toe foot on this would work because you'd be able to see. But I'm lining up my freezer paper with the line, which I know is right in the middle. One of the things that Sarah taught me is don't watch the needle. You want to watch it as it's going towards, so you can line it all up with that line on your machine foot needle thingy. And then when it disappears on you, you then turn it. So we're just doing it around. I'm going around his ear now. This year. So I showed my friend last night the piggy banks, and I said, you know, you could put it for the kids if you're giving money, and he said that we could put their ointment in it, which was a real dad joke. We spent the whole evening trading dad jokes. So round his back. So are you going to come and join us for our party? We've had a few takers, but we'd love to see all of you. You don't have to stay the night. I mean, the hotel has been very good. They're going to give us 10% off, you know, the rooms, which you book through the hotel, not through us. What else has happened today? Oh, we saw the last April retreat place. So we're full now for April. I'm not sure if there's some left on November. I can't remember. But they'll be on the website if they are. If you fancy coming and seeing us. Okay, so I'm into his groin. I'm just going to go around 2 stitches. One more. And then I'm going to go back 2 stitches. There you go. And I've lock stitched that because I'm going to try and get all of this out of that little hole. So we've now gone all the way around. Where are you? Number 3. Okay, now if you wanted to do it just simply, you would have done this wrong sides together. Okay, you could sew it wrong sides together, and then you just cut with pinking shears around the outside. It depends on how permanent you want to make this, but because we're doing a lesson, I thought we would make it a little bit posher. So this now, you can see where I've caught the paper. You're just peeling it off. See how easy it is to peel off the freezer paper, as long as you haven't sewn over it. Try and take it off without ripping the stitches. Okay, now there's still a waxy feel to this, so I could, if I wanted to, I could use this again, but I'm done with pigs now. I'm pigged out. Okay, so pinking shears, I'm going to pink this because it's easier than clipping, and I'm basically lazy. So we are going around here and just, you want to not cut your stitches, because otherwise you've wasted your time. So you're going all the way around like this. I'm going to cut into that bit there, it's a bit close, and around his ear. And I go back in then to where you change direction. I'll go back in and clip it just a little bit more to try and make it a lot better for when you're turning it out. So I'm going up here, along there, and up into his leg. Now come out a bit on the belly where there's a hole, because it is a lot easier for when you're folding it back in to put your seam on there. Okay, now my sharp scissors. You want to cut into these corner bits, okay, because I'm notorious for getting it not to sit right. So we make an effort to cut into these bits. So where his ear starts, I cut into that to give it more room for all that fabric that you're going to be shoving into that little bit. There, go into that corner there, go into under his neck and put a couple of more nicks than the pink and shears did, and then up here into that armpit there. So we've got that far. Now we're just going to turn him inside out, so you can see that the fluff is still on here. You can see where it wasn't quite long enough. So we've got the fluff here, so we're going to turn him out. So if you get your finger into the nooks and crannies and pull that through and get to there and pull that through, it should pull through a lot easier if you go to the farthest reaches and pull it through. So there we go. Hi Anne, how are you? So we are making piggy banks. So I've already made one side, and now we are making the other side. Look at me being all professional and having one that I made earlier. So we're just pushing out the bits. So there's his ear. That's his ear, like that. Now you could use anything. I wanted to use rainbow fabric, but I was told that they weren't rainbows. I think it would make people happy. So I've done it like this. I mean, you could be clever and do them all in one go. But I want to put a slit in this one, so I would have had to have really worked it out. So I thought it was a lot easier to just do them in two bits, and because I don't want to have to I don't know whether you could do it that your lining was different. So see where my the bit is sticking out, because I've given it a proper belly. so that I have a bigger seam to turn under. See how it's so much easier. So I'm going to give that a bit of a press. Okay, so let's get the kutundu out the way. I'm going to give it a bit of a press like that. So we have a flat piggy. Okay, there's a bit of a flat piggy, and I've ironed my seam in, which has gone beautifully, I have to say. The gap has just gone really beautifully, so I'm going to tuck that one under because I didn't iron this one, and then I'm gonna try and, this is the bosal, so it is a bit harder to keep it under. There we go. So we have two biggie bits. So they're going to go together like that. We're going to make a tail. Have I got a bit with a tail? Have I got a piece that's big? Ah, there we are. There's a piece that's big enough. I've got enough there. I could make a tail. So all I did for my piggy tail, they don't have to have a tail. I mean, he could be a Manx pig. But I liked the piggy tail. I've got a piece here. I'm just going to sew around like that and then back. Okay, or start there and go in and then back out. You just want to make a swirl, okay, but you need to be able to cut it, so you need to make sure that you've given yourself enough room. We tried to get tickets last night, not sure if it went through. No, Karen, I don't think yours did. We'll have to have a look at that. I mean, you could give us a ring. If you're having trouble, you could give us a ring and we could just remove it from the website manually. So I'm just going to give myself a swirl, she says. Go around. That's it. Go around. So we're now going to make sure it goes in. I mean, this one is not quite as wiggly as the last one. This is where I end up cutting the thread in the middle of something like this. Now this, we're just going to pink it. There we go. So we've done a bit of a wiggly tail. Oh, I should have done it with the other bit on there. Yeah. So normally, make sure you put the back on it, because now I've not got a back on it. Let's just spray glue it for now. There we go. If I spray glue that on there, like that, and chop that off there and that off there. I've spray glued it. I'm going to have to sew it on, aren't I? Because it's not going to stay. Right, let's just follow our line and just sew the back on, because otherwise it's just going to come off. There's me thinking I could get away with it, but you can't. So we just follow the line-ish that I made before. There we go. Like that. And while we're here at the sewing machine, I'm just going to, because I'm going to put a popper on there, I'm just going to sew down his belly here. Okay, so we just close to the edge. You're going to go along so that you've top stitched the belly, so that bit is closed. We're going to top stitch all of it together. I've got a frayed thread. That thread is frayed. Okay, need to pull that through and re-thread the needle. There we go. Where's the O? There's the O. There we go. So we've done one belly, and do the other belly. Just to close that turning, to make sure that everything's fine. There we go. Okay, so where are we? We're on number 3. So we have our tail, so we're going to cut that out like this. So you go up into there. Like that. And we're going to go around and around like that. So we've just got a bit of a tail, okay? It's more like a hanger. Right, so let's get rid of that knottage there. That'll do, Pig. So we need a letterbox to be able to put your money in. Now I didn't do it on the bosal, but it might be a thing. Right, what am I doing? I'm running out of words here. So we want to put our Piggy. We want to put a letterbox on half of our Piggy. So you've got to decide which way round you're doing it, I suppose. So I've got the bosal. This is the bosal's on this side, so that's flat. We're going to put our pig that way round. No, we're not. We're going to do it that way round. There you go. That's a better seams. Okay. So I need my letterbox to be on here. Now it's just a guesstimate. Okay. So I sort of want him about there. Now I've done a 1/2 inch on the other one. I did a 1/2 inch. I think that was too big. So I'm going to do a smaller letterbox this time. Is that going to work? So I've come down, I've leveled up, and I've got 4 inches from, you know, where the ruler goes from one end to the other. 4 inches. I've just come down as much as I can, as much as I want, and I don't want it to be too big, so I'm going to come in 1 inch, and I think 2 inches is big enough, but I think I only want to come down 1/4 inch, really. Trouble is cutting that. Yeah, I'll be able to manage like that, and I'm going to just draw a little letterbox on there. Okay, so on this one I did 1/2 inch when I drew it, and I think it's a bit big. You want to be able to get notes through there if you're a notes person. So we're going to go along, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to just do it straight stitch like I did that. I went round twice, so I'm going to do that. There are two reasons why I'm doing that. One of them is I don't know Sarah's machine very well, and I worry when I change the change anything on it. So I'm just going to go along here with this and go down, and I'm going to go around twice. Okay. I think one more. There you go. That's better. I'm going to go around twice so that it's more stable, I suppose. So there we go. The term piggy bank originates from the Old English word pig, P-Y-G-G, which referred to a type of orange-coloured clay used to make household items like jars and pots. During the Middle Ages, people used these piggy jars to store their money. And over time, I suppose they became a pig. That's really cool. Who sent me that? Who sent me that? Hang on. My thingy's not working. There we are. Eileen Wall. Thank you very much, Eileen. I love learning things like that. Hiya, Jean. How are you? You'll have to catch up. Are you going to come to Cardiff and play with us in for our birthday? If you want, I'll pick you up from the airport. There we go. Alright, I need another one. Yeah. Oh, no. Maybe not. I haven't been very careful. I've gone off piste a little bit. No, go backwards. There we go. That'll do. Okay. Yeah, AI is really good for some things, isn't it? So, right. There's our hole. Now I just want to make a slit in there. So I've got really sharp scissors. These are brilliant scissors. And we're just going to trim right next to it. Now you could do a satin stitch, you could cut it out and then satin stitch it. If you've got what they called embroidery machine, you could just get it to embroider a slit. I'm sure there's a bit of a program for it. We've just winged it. I mean, these are not really something that you would collect a great deal of money in. Okay, so there we go. We have an owl. We have an owl. It's a whole hole, not a part hole. There we go. Now the one thing about doing it in a bigger, you know, like this, there's a lot more to be able to cut it out. So there we have our slot for our piggy bank. Now we are going to sew these two together. Okay, and we want our tail in there as well, so you're going to stick his tail. Now they're quite high up, Piggy's tails. They're not down here, they're quite high up from what I could gather from my drawing. So my drawing there, now line that up with his nose and his feet. His tail is in the right place. They need to be up quite high. So we're going to pin that. Excuse me. I'm going to pin that and bring that in. I'm going to make sure that that bit is pinned in. I don't know where there's the pin. And I'm going to put another one here by his ears. another one down here at his feet, just to hold him in place. And I'm going to top stitch all the way round. Again, from under his armpit to his groin, I'm going to go all the way around. Okay, I'm going to attempt to make my stitch bigger. There we are. I'm going to make the stitch a bit bigger. I'm going to take it up to a 3.35 because that's where I'm stopped. Okay. 3.35, and we'll give that a go. There we go. There we go. So we're going to start here. And then we're going to go all the way around the outside. Now, depending on how much money you think you're going to put in there, it doesn't matter at what distance, but I'm roughly 1/4 inch to an eighth of an inch going round. Remember, on the very edge, it's going to be quite thick because you've got your Bosal and your H640 in there. Well, I have. And your fabrics. You've got 4 layers of fabric plus your interfacing. Now you could just use normal 250 interfacing, or you could use the Palmet stuff, which would make it very sturdy and easy to post. So we're going around and just coming up to his ear. This is where you find out whether you've sewn them the same. I know I had to go back in on the one I did last night because his bottom was a bit, I'd come away from the freezer paper. I'd come away from that a little bit and ended up wondering whether his bottom was going to be too big for the other one, so I had to go back in. So we're nearly done. So we're going to go down to the bottom of his foot, like that, and then back up to his groin. Just want to join it with your the top stitching that you did before you put the pigs together. Let's just put, no, go backwards please. There you go. There we are. So we now have a pig all sewn together. So where are we? We want to go to a 3. So we're just going to trim off our bits of thingies, bits of thread that are sticking out like that. And we're going to take our pins out. There we go. So we now have a gap here. Now you could have put Velcro in there. Work out at the point that you're going to put Velcro in before you sew your side together. You want to put a bit of Velcro in there, or we can use a can snap. We love a can snap. The buttonhole, I I tried a buttonhole, but I can't get a buttonhole this big. I couldn't get it to sew 2 inches. However, I put it on the largest setting, but a buttonhole is the perfect one because it will finish it all nicely for you as well. Right, so I think they're more of this colour, aren't they? So I've got a male, so I want a female. There we go. So we're going to put, I mean, you could embroider eyes on it or whatever you want. So this is going to go by there, just by there. So you can owl it. You can owl it. Now Sarah reckons cutting the thingies off, but I think I've got quite a good grip. So we're going to put one there. And we just line it all up. Give it a bit of a squeeze. Like that. Who do I know in Salisbury? Nobody. And turn it over, and you're going to want to make sure that it goes in the right place so that they all marry up. So that'll go in there like that. Push it through. And then you put the male bit on. Oh! Okay, am I in there? Yeah. It doesn't want to stay. So we're just going to, you pop the button in the cup and then give it a squeeze and keep your fingers crossed. There we go. So you could put 2 in there, but we don't do halfpennies and sixpences anymore, so that's not going to come out that hole. Nothing's going to come out of there. But they can get it out without having to take it apart. Now you could stitch it and then just blanket stitch the bottom together so that they could, if they wanted the money out, they could undo it, take the money out and then re-sew it. But there you go. We have, what's a group of pigs called? Eileen? What's a group of pigs called? There we go. We have 3 piggies. 3 piggies ready for me to put money in. A nice project for retreats. Doing these pigs? Yes, I can certainly do these pigs with you. I'm quite happy to, but I've taught you now. Yeah, I need to start thinking about what I'm going to teach on retreat. We need something new now, don't we? So there we go, piggy banks. So really I should have called it PYGG bank, a pig bank. So we are, that's it for the week. Now Sarah's going on holiday tomorrow, so by about Wednesday I might start missing her. So you'll have me doing block of the week, so we shall have a look at that. And I think project bag, somebody wanted a project bag. I think I'm going to give myself a break and we're going to make a project bag, okay, on Thursday. So get your orphan blocks, find yourself an orphan block. This is from my block of the week 3 weeks ago. And I just turned it into a project wallet. I'll bring a few and show you what's going on. It's a piece of cake. It really is, and you know how much I like cake. It's a piece of cake. But and a lot of you have already done them and you see them. So we'll do that, and that'll give myself a break. I don't have to prep that one, so I just need to find a block now. I will see you. Thank you very much, Karen. Thank you, Carol. A drift or a drove of pigs. I like drift, I think. They're going to drift past. Can you imagine a pig drifting? They're so lumbery. But yeah, so there you go. Right, see you next week. Bye. Have a good weekend.